Hello, welcome back to Greta's Garden. I thought I'd pop on today because I'm going through my stored vegetables, mostly root vegetables, because it's holiday coming, Christmas, and I've got to figure out what I'm cooking for tomorrow. And just to see how well they're surviving or preserving in the various areas that I have them in the house. So I just cleaned up my Brussels sprouts. I store them in a bread bag in my crisper, but I peeled off all the outer yellow leaves. They've been in there probably 3 months now. Most of these vegetables are 3 months to 2 months that they've been stored now, and they will last a lot longer, most of them. But this is the last of my Brussels sprouts. They don't last forever indoors in my crisper, so I'm glad to be getting these out now. However, if you are in an area where you don't mind going out in the dead of winter, it's -9 out today, which is very rare for us to be that cold, but it's chilly. It feels like -14, I think. But if you can leave your Brussels sprouts outside and pick them when it's time for Christmas or any of your holidays, that's even better, but I don't do that. So, first thing I want to look at is my squash. I've been eating them and cooking them in various types of meals, from risottos to soups, but I've got a few left. And so what I'm checking for is what needs to be eaten first. And I have found that it's probably my Hubbard. It's still in perfect condition, but right here where it's a little lighter green, I'm almost thinking it's a bit softer. So I'm going to use that one just in case, because you do have to keep your eyes on all your squash. Also, that's just a perfect size. There's only 3 of us in this household. So even the Brussels sprouts is more than enough. We'll be eating those as leftovers when I've cooked all the vegetables. So my squash are holding up really well, the ones that are left. These celebration squash last a full year, from year till next harvest. They're incredible, and that's why I grow so many of them now. And they also grow so well for me here in my I think it's still a 5B zone. So that's that decision made. Brussels sprouts cleaned up. Now I'll be boiling a few vegetables rather than roasting, because I bought a turkey. I don't know, a couple of months ago. It was really on sale, and that's going to be in the oven for the longest time. So I like to get prepped and a little ready. So I'm going to boil a few things rather than roasting some of the vegetables, but I do that through it all the time. So it's okay, and we're going to be probably slopping a lot of gravy over the vegetables also. A great way to get anyone in your family to eat something like Brussels sprouts if they don't particularly like them. The holidays is a great time because you've got creamed dishes or gravies to help them eat those that they don't want to eat. So I've got a couple of little turnips. I'll probably only use one. I'm really the only one that eats turnip. Say they like them in soups, but just to have it boiled or even mashed turnip, my son and husband don't enjoy that. I don't know, I'm just looking at the cabbage. I have 3 more cabbage left. They're red cabbage. They don't boil well, they'll turn everything purple. So I could do a braised cabbage. I haven't figured that out yet, but they need to be used too. They're still stored beautiful in my crisper. Just take off, you know, the outer leaves, and you're left with a perfect little head. I grow smaller versions for my climate to make sure they reach maturity in time, but the smaller I find store really well. So probably a braised cabbage. Carrots, I've got big bag carrots in there, so that I'll just boil those. I only grew this year 3 parsnips. My seeds, I forgot to buy seeds. So these just happened to have popped up, I think, from seeds from the year before, and I got monsters. I still have 1 monster in there. I've gone through the second, and the third one, this one's looking like he needs to be eaten a bit. So I'll use a little bit of that also. This is still going to last me a long time because I just use bits at a time. But I'll boil a little bit of parsnips. Maybe I'll caramelize some parsnips because I have a lot. Beets. We have pickled beets. I pickled all my beets, but I also, they store so great in a crisper or, you know, cold cellar, cold basement. Another one of the wonderful, you know, storage vegetables. And it may be old-fashioned, you know, nothing really sexy about these vegetables per se. But it's what I grew up on, and my mother would have grown up on, because here, especially in North America or Northern Canada, we rely on our root vegetables. And one of the many joys of gardening is when the holidays come, you get to pull these out and enjoy. So I can put the rest of the squash away. Now, potatoes, I'll definitely boil and mash some potatoes. Perfect for the turkey gravy. And always, well, you can't miss with that. And there's room on my stovetop for that, not in the oven. I roasted some chestnuts the other night, and they were lovely. So that will be something maybe this evening, maybe Christmas Eve. So that's potatoes, that's carrots, that's, oh, I kept calling these turnip. I'm sorry, they call them turnips here. Rutabaga, a little bit of rutabaga, possibly a braised cabbage. I'll see if I'm energetic enough for that. Definitely roasted the squash. I just cut it in half. I usually put a bit of salt, pepper, butter in each half, and either a bit of honey, but I have my own maple syrup that I make, so that's probably what's going to be in there, and it's beautiful done in the oven, and there's room in the oven to stick that. Then there's Brussels sprouts. I'll boil them a bit first, and then I just finish them off in a pan with bacon, because I use bacon for my turkey stuffing, and you know, I'll have extra left over to saute that with. Then beets, we're going to boil those. I just love them with butter. Now, I grew up with, first I've got to get onto something here. Sorry, I'm all over. That's my rosehip tea, by the way, to make sure I'm getting my vitamin C. Actually, I just explained to my son that there is, I could be wrong, but the numbers were something like 417% of your daily vitamin C value in rosehips, as opposed to, I think it was 92% in the orange. Now, over here, let me I'm going to use these little onions. I've got lots of them. I never throw away anything, but I also intentionally grow little wee tiny bunching onions. And they'll be creamed onions. I grew up with that. I love it. Here's some walking onions. And I just love them. So easy to do and beautiful on the Christmas table. So again, the parsnips, yeah, I'll boil some of these together and that'll be good. Now, I'm all over the place here. These are they grow on our property. They're partridge berries, otherwise known as lingonberries. And I'm going to make my cranberry sauce from these. It's perfect for a substitute. We do have cranberries here in the bogs, and I think I have them up on the hill up above, but I'm not clear enough on which is the cranberry, which is the lingonberry, so I stick to the lingonberry that I know. So I'm going to boil those. They thicken beautifully, and I'll do that ahead of time now. So I just bring those to a boil and I add a wee bit of sugar. Very tart, but perfect substitution. I don't add any water. So that's my vegetables all sorted out. Here is, it took all of 5 minutes for the partridge berries to boil down. It's lovely. I've tasted it, and it will firm up even more, but it's pretty firm now. But as it cools, that's wonderful. And while I was in the crisper putting vegetables away, I saw the apples that Bruce had picked, and it reminded me to pull out some of my frozen applesauce I made from those. And the last thing that I'll point out is I save some of the vegetable scraps after I've, blanched and frozen many things. But I'll save things like the leek tops or the celery leaves. I've got a bag of it here. I've got lots of them. And I don't know if you can see those, they're all stuck together. But those I place in the bottom of the pan, put the turkey on top while it's roasting, and that gives you the gorgeous additional flavors for the turkey gravy. Now, I'm feeling good. That's self-sufficiency for the holidays. Using, the best vegetables for storage, really. That should be my tagline. I think it will be. Now that I remembered the chestnuts for roasting this evening, I'll chill some Prosecco. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.